was patiently waiting last week to get the episode, but it didn't drop. But the mess continues, guys. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Never Ever Met season 2, and we're on episode 8. So far, the show has had so many twists and turns and things that we were not expecting. But we're here ready to do this recap. But before we do, hey, my name is Kay and this is Kay Unscripted. Welcome to the channel. And before we get into this recap, please go ahead and do me a favor, y'all. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So in the last episode, everything blew up between Tatiana and Clevassier. They decided to go home, they decided to go their separate ways, and so much tea came out when that episode dropped because Tatiana was so blindsided because she didn't know that some of the castmates was aware of the secret, and basically, she found out that they were playing in her face and she didn't appreciate that, right? And so now that they're gone, the rest of the castmates, they're sitting in the living room and they're trying to rate each other and to decide who's going home next. So here is Cinco's rating. Him and Jay at number 1. Second is Charli and Jared. Third place, there's Alexis and Chris. And in fourth place, Kiki and Brandon, and in fifth place there's Brittany and Ty. And so he and Jay, they're talking a whole bunch of crap, talking about, oh, they're going to be leaving next, they're going to be living in separate vehicles, and Tati, not Tati, oh god, why am I saying Tati? Jay saying, oh, if they want to make the exit, how about they do that shit tonight? Girl, I like you and all, but you're doing too much. Please chill, relax. Because the whole time you were thinking it was Kiki and Brandon that would have been the first couple to leave. They're still here. They're still working on their relationship. So how about y'all mind y'all old damn business? So in the game room, there's Chris, Jared, Brandon, and Ty. And they're talking about what just happened. And Ty is saying, listen, so the people who were saying that these people have all the drama, they're still here, but y'all who have been pretending like y'all are this perfect couple, they're out of here, so take notes. And so here comes Cinco and G again, coming in where the guys are, and they're, oh yeah guys, I'm just coming to make sure that everything is set in stone. And Jay's like, who's next? Like, girl, be quiet, please be quiet. So when she says that, Cinco's like, oh, we know who's next. And the rest of the guys are, oh, really? You all know who's next? Oh, so that's what we're doing? So Cinco's like, oh, I'm not trying to stir the pot, but I'm just here to ask a follow-up question. And so he directs the question to Ty and he's like, so how was the date? So Ty says, well, we were chopping it up. I made her favorite dish. And he's pretty much just saying pretty much that they're locked in. So while y'all over there thinking that Ty and Brittany are about to go home next, Ty's like, we good over here. Meanwhile, Jared and Charli, they're outside with Brittany and they're asking her, well, Jared is asking her, how was your date with Ty? Now, why are you asking this lady her business when you were just there with Ty when he was saying how the date went? Why are you trying to get in these people's business? How about you tell Charli what you really think about her? How about that? So Brittany's saying, well, the date was great and, you know, he's really stepping up. I see him putting in the effort and I appreciate him making sure that we work towards our relationship. Jared says, listen, girl, I know you're saying you like his personality, but it's kind of giving you're not attracted to him. And so Brittany says, no, I am attracted to Ty. I just feel like sometimes he gives off friend vibes. She's saying that she wants some mental stimulation. Now, some of us girlies like me, we love having a deep conversation with somebody. This is something that attracts you and it stimulates you. It makes that person look 10 times more attractive. Some of us girlies are like that. So if I'm not getting the conversations that I need to have, it's obviously going to put me off. So I don't really think it's about his physical appearance. I just feel like he just needs to tone down the jokes a little bit more. Anyways, Jared is still in this people business and he's like, oh, I can tell what his love languages are. His love language is physical touch and acts of service. Jared, mind your business. He's telling her, oh, you haven't given him any of his love languages. So she's like, but that's not my love language. Now, as to why Jared is so invested in what's going on between Ty and Brittany, I don't know. But that's not your business. That's these people business. Do I think that Brittany and Ty really need to have a serious conversation about where this relationship is going? Absolutely. But I just don't like the fact that people are giving the unwanted inputs in people's relationship, and that can send your mind to a different place. It can make you see things in a different way, sometimes positive but sometimes also very negative. So it's the next day, and again, the guys are in the game room. It's Brandon, Chris, and Jared. And he's telling the guys that he has to have the talk with Charli because his sister is coming to visit. Now, we saw what happened in the last episode when the family and friends for Clay and Tatiana came and how that blew up. Why are they waiting for when their family members or friends come over to have those kind of conversations? I don't know, but it's just a little bit weird to me. Jared is saying, oh, his sister has been telling him, oh, you need to tell Charli. Don't wait till last minute. So you literally need your sister to tell you, stop keeping a secret from your girlfriend. You really? Really? He says that his sister doesn't know about Charli having all of these babies. And so Brandon is like, so what exactly does your sister know? And it's pretty much just his sister knowing who Charli is. That's it. So Chris is schooling him and telling him, listen, you just need to go have that conversation with Charli. You don't want to wait until your sister comes. Go ahead, play this game, get your mind off what's happening, but go sit down with Charli. So he pulls Charli outside to have the conversation that he's been dreading to have. And he says to her, listen, there are some things that I feel like you should know. So he gives it to her straight, no chaser, and he says, you remember the game we were playing the other day where we had to put if we're going to stay with our partner in that moment? Well, by the way, I was the one who placed F no on the card. And Charli is just looking like a lost goose. She says, but you told me yes. And he's like, okay, so what happened was at the time you had just told me about the extra children. And I was just feeling like that's too much for me. And so that's why I wrote F no. And so in his mind, things were over with them at that point. But you felt that way and you still slept with her. So make it make sense. So he's like, well, I just said to myself, you know what? I'm here, so I might as well have fun. And she's like, so you were just going to drag me along so you can have fun? Girl, what did you expect? He did the same thing to you when y'all were dating and he ended up having a baby outside of yours relationship. And so did you. So you expected him to be a changed person? You expected anything different from him? So she asks him, well, how do you feel now? And he says, well, it varies from day to day. Sometimes I'm still feeling like F no. Another day I might feel like maybe. And then I might be like, yes. And then tomorrow I might change my mind and be like, maybe. I don't know. What am I doing? But I just don't really see realistically how this is going to play out. I don't really feel like this is possible for us to really have a relationship with all them kids. So she like, I didn't expect that from you. And he's like, neither do I. Girl. And y'all thought that was all. He's like, oh, by the way, there's more. My sister doesn't really know that you have all of these children. So I'm going to have to tell her. And I know when I tell her, she's going to tell me, do you really think you should be taking care of all of those other kids? That's not yours. Ooh, oh boy. Jared is giving Charli everything, and girl, honey, she's looking like a deer in headlights. Like, she's like, oh my God, don't tell me he's about to tell me that. Now, girl, if a man doesn't want you with all of your children, you need to run. You need to run. That man don't want you. But we've been telling you that from day one, he don't want you. But you were just laughing. You were just making fun of Tatiana and Clay's situation. Little did you know yours was coming. She's like, I don't want to hear that. Who's going to want to be with a woman who has 4 kids? Honey, there are several men who come into a relationship knowing that you have 4 children, 6 children, 7 children, and they still love you down, still take care of you, still show up for these children. Jared, he ain't it, okay? I feel a little bit of sympathy for Charlie because nobody should be blindsided in their relationship, thinking that, we have a future, we're working towards something, and only to find out that he just wanted some. And after all what that man told her, she's still like, so, do you want to be with me? And Jerry's like, in a perfect world, yeah. Like, why you're giving pick me? The man just told you he doesn't see himself being with a woman who has so many children, but you're still asking him if he wants to be with you? What is wrong with you, Charlie? Girl, get your shit together, please. She's saying in her confessional that she's embarrassed and she feels disrespected, and she also feels like he's wasting her time. Baby girl, you should have thought about that because, again, I had questions. Were you even healed already for you to be giving up the coochie to that man? Were you? So anyways, she's in a little corner and she's crying, and Brittany walks up to her and she's like, girl, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? And so she's like, Jared. It's Jared. And Brittany's like, what did he do? And she's like, okay, remember that game we played the other day where you had to put if you would stay with your partner, and he was the one who put F no. And she's like, really? Did he say that? Did he say that? And she's like, yes, he said that. And girl, that's not even all. He's saying, oh, what do I look like taking care of being with a woman and having to take care of she and her 4 children? And so she's like, if someone who says they love me and have been with me for 4 years says they don't want to deal with that, then why would somebody else want to? I'm not even going to comment on that. She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't even know if he likes me. And Brittany said it very well. She's like, I think he likes you, but he doesn't want to be with you. Tell it to her again. He doesn't want to be with you. What's in your head isn't clicking that man just told you he cannot be with you. He doesn't want to be with you. He doesn't want to put up with you and your 4 children. How is that not clicking in your head? So Brittany tells her, girl, if it was me and my dude placed F no, I wouldn't be able to move forward with him. You cannot be with someone who doesn't want to be with you and your 4 children. He has to be able to accept your children. And if he doesn't, then he's not the man for you. And what really is bothering me is the fact that he wrote F no and still continued to have sex with you. Child, let's see what happens next. So up next, we see Taronda and Dr. Ali. Apparently, Chris and Alexis requested for a coaching session. So one thing Dr. Ali is going to do, she's going to tell you the truth. So Chris requested to have a sit down with Dr. Ali because he said the guys have been encouraging him to sit down and talk to somebody because they've said that therapy has helped them. And so he decided to sit with Dr. Ali to let her know some of the things that have been going on between him and Alexis. He says that for the most, things have been good with Alexis, but sometimes things are really bad because Alexis is controlling and she's very aggressive. So Dr. Ali asks him to explain what he means, and he says that he pretty much looks for signs because in his life, he has had 8 stepdads and stepmoms together, and by the time he was in 9th grade, he already had his own apartment because his dad was so very busy. And so he's pretty much been a loner, he's been independent. And so the more he's explaining what his situation is, it's giving less controlling and aggressive from Alexis. It seems like Chris is just used to doing things a certain type of way because he gave an example of her asking him to do his laundry and he was feeling some type of way about that. And he's like, no, I've got it. And so Dr. Ali asked Alexis how she feels about that. And she said she feels misunderstood while she does think that she is aggressive and she's dominant, but she's being misunderstood. Alexis says that this is just who she is, it's part of her culture, and so Chris is telling her, listen, I need a woman, I don't need a mom. She is saying that she still doesn't really understand what the problem is, but if she has to adjust to make her relationship work, she will do that. And so Chris is saying that the rest of the time that they have, he wants to wait to see if there is some kind of reciprocation. And so he will then decide if he wants to live with Alexis or exit the relationship. I wish we got to see a little bit more depth with this conversation because I don't really feel like Alexis is being controlling. I do remember that he had a conversation with his friend and he spoke about him not being attracted to her physique. So I wish they explored that in a bit. Maybe they did and we just didn't get to see it. But I wish there was more out of that conversation. So Jared's sister Jewel has arrived at the house. Also, Charlie's best friend Sabrina is coming to see her. So Jared and his sister head to the backyard and she's like, well, how is it going? How are things with Charlie? And he's like, well, it's okay. Things with Charlie have been interesting. And he breaks the news to her that Charlie actually has 4 children. And the sister's like, what? Wait a minute. 4 children? So he's like, well, after she told me, in my mind, I was checked out and we played a little game. I put F no, and he's saying that he just decided to have fun. Or some people might think that's leading her on. So it's leading her on. You literally lied to that lady's face. You were buttering her up just to get in her pants. You knew very well that you wasn't invested in that relationship and your only goal was to get some coochie. So please don't try to make it seem like, oh, people might say this is leading her on. You definitely did lead her on. You manipulated her and you lied. He also tells his sister that they actually just had a real conversation about how he was feeling. And the sister is like, okay, you know what? At the end of the day, we have to snap back to reality. And if you're not ready to deal with that, and I'm like, not you addressing those children as that. Excuse me? And he's like, do I really want to raise somebody else's children at this point in my life? Ex- I, the more Jared talks, the more irritated I get, the more on my nerves he gets. You knew from the moment she told you that she had 4 children, you didn't want to be with her. Why did you string her along and now all of a sudden you need your sister to confirm what you've been feeling? Bye bye. Over on the next side of the house, she's having the conversation with her best friend and she's like, girl, guess what? He has a newborn too. And her best friend was like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Best friend, ask her again. She's like, I thought everything was butterflies and rainbows. Girl, where? When? Oh, if you wrote down what a perfect man is, that's Jared. And her friend is like, well, did y'all have sex? And she's like, yeah, it was amazing. Not you cheesing about that because the man literally just used you to get some coochie when you were not even healed yet to get some D. So don't even start cheesing about that. It's not a moment. She's telling her best friend about the game they played and how Jared just revealed to her that he placed F no while she placed hell yeah. And so she's like, oh, he told me he was drunk that night. That's how he felt at the time, but this is not how he feels anymore. We didn't see the conversation going that way, but this is what she's telling her best friend. Her best friend asks her, well, how does she feel? And she says that she feels disrespected. She didn't really see that coming. And so now she just has to process things. Girl, what is there to process? The man told you he don't want you. What else do you need? So Jared and his sister now head over to the living room area where Charlie and her best friend Sabrina are so that they could meet each other. So he says to Charlie, okay, I filled her in. She knows everything. And so he's like, sis, do you have anything you want to ask Charlie? And so the sister is asking Charlie, her name is Jewel. Jewel is asking Charlie, how do you feel about my brother? So Charlie's like, okay, it's been 4 years that we've been seeing each other. I love that man. And I know I dropped a bomb on him and told him that I have 4 children. But the point is, I don't really need a man. I want a man because I'm pretty sure that I am more financially stable than you. I probably make more than you. I hold my own. I can take care of myself. I can take care of my children on my own. So Joel also asked her, well, how did you feel about the answer he wrote when you were playing that game? And so Charlie said, okay, this was just after we told each other our secrets and we said to each other that we wouldn't keep anything else from each other. And so after the game, I asked him and he said he wrote yes. And so now to find out that he wrote F no it's a lot. So his sister says, well, what if he told you just after that dinner that he wrote F no? Charlie's like, well, I would have been fine with that because that's how he feels. And so if that's how you feel, we could talk about it. I'm not the type to go all crazy and all of that. But it's the fact that he lied. And I know I lied about something, but we're talking specifically about this because we decided to move forward and he lied. So the sister is like, okay, wait a minute. Dropping 4 keys on somebody and expecting them to be like, yeah, okay, cool, is a bit unrealistic. And Charlie's like, I didn't expect that. He's the one who's telling me that he's good. But I, on the other hand, I'm talking to other people and I'm saying, I know this is not good, but he is making me feel like everything is all good. And so the sister gave him a side eye like, are you serious? So yeah, girl, he lied to you too. His sister says to Charlie, listen, I have been heartbroken before, so I know what that feels like. I don't like liars, and that's a deal breaker for me. But personally, I would say, hey, I come with kids. I love my kids. You either love me or you don't. Go to the left, to the left, to the left. And I want to applaud his sister so much for holding Jared accountable because this is what Charlie should have said to Jared. If you don't want me and my 4 children, then thank you. Next. Her sister goes to give Charlie a hug and she whispers in her ears and says to her, don't let him tell you whatever he wants. You're beautiful inside and out. And kudos to the sister. Joelle, great job. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for holding your brother accountable. Thank you for encouraging Charlie and standing up for her as another woman. That was beautiful. Up next, Chris and Alexis, they're going out on a date. He's excited and he's trying to figure out what Alexis has planned for them to do. Alexis says that this is the first time she's ever taken a man out on a date and she's never done something like that, so she's trying something new with Chris. So they head over to a boxing ring and Chris is immediately excited. This is something that he loves doing. And so the name of the place is Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Hollywood. They're greeted by the trainer and he tells them that he's going to introduce them to some different exercises and they're looking all happy. So they do some exercises and they both seem to be into it. They both seem like they're having a good time and I'm happy for them. So after all of the exercises and all of the fun, they sat down and they're talking and Chris is telling her, I'm having a good time. I never really expected you to plan this date, but I love it. It's 10 out of 10. They share some smoochies and we head back to the house. The guys and the girlies, they're having dinner. The food looks amazing as usual. And they're about to play yet another game. Now we know every time a game is about to be played or a game gets played, it gets messy. So they pull out cards and they ask each other questions. So Cinco asks Jay the first question and he says, give me one piece of sex advice. And Jay says, don't skip foreplay. I think that's great advice because I think sometimes men forget that women need a little bit of warming up before you penetrate. Like you literally have to get us there. We're not like y'all who get excited immediately and you're ready to go. So that was great advice from Jay. The next question was from Charlie to Jared. What is one difference about me that you love? And he told her that she is more mature than he is. Yeah, it's true. The next question was from Brandon to Kiki. How can your partner make you feel sexy? And she says, touch me. So the next question is for Brittany. And the question was, if y'all have not had sex, Do you think y'all would be good sexual partners? And baby, everybody's nervous, waiting to get the response from Brittany. Ty is waiting patiently for his answer. Brittany is feeling uncomfortable. She's like, I don't know. The group is pressuring her. They're like, I don't know. It's not a response. It's either yes or no. She says yes, but then she gets in her confessional and she's like, no, actually, I've kind of been sparing his feelings. Girl, you need to tell that man how you really feel. Y'all are avoiding all of those serious conversations. Did y'all forget what y'all came on the show for? Y'all have been dating online for several years, some of y'all, and you're now in person to see if your connection is as real as it is online. Why are y'all not having these serious conversations about your future? So they now asked Ty what his response is, and he's like, no. And the group was like, can you elaborate? He's like, no, he didn't say anything about elaborating. And then when he got to his confessional, he's like, she took a minute to say yes. And so that turned me off. And that for me means that we are not sexually compatible. And so it's a no for me. And I respect him for saying that. She starts feeling some type of way when he says that because she's been feeling like she's been sparing his feelings and he's continuing to embarrass her in front of the group. Brittany gets up to leave, and when she's leaving, Chris and Alexis come back to the house. And so here goes Jay and Cinco continuing to instigate, and she's like, oh, why is she upset? Why is she upset? How about y'all mind your business? Because the two of y'all have been acting like y'all are so perfect. Y'all don't like people in your business. Y'all don't like people in your relationship, but y'all are all up in everybody's own. Brittany is in the kitchen and she's saying that she was trying to keep his feelings in consideration when she was speaking, and he doesn't do the same for her. Meanwhile, he's still in the dining room area talking about it, saying that every time he tries to, make advances at Brittany, he feels like he's doing something wrong. And so Kiki's chiming in, Jay's chiming in. They're both talking a whole bunch of crap about Brittany. Oh, they don't know what's wrong with her. How could she want to have sex if she doesn't feel like doing it? And they're like, you need to go and ask her what's wrong with her. What's her problem? So he heads over to the kitchen and he's asking her, what's wrong? Why did you leave? And so she's like, you annoyed me. So he's like, well, you kind of took forever to answer, and I just answered honestly. And so they're going back and forth. She's feeling like he's not allowing her to talk because she's trying to explain herself and he's cutting her off. And then everybody else comes into the kitchen all of a sudden because they want to be all up in these people's business too. And Chris is like, oh, tell me when I can talk. He's like, tell me when I can talk because apparently I'm a little boy. And so Brittany gets really upset. She starts pointing her fingers in his face and she's like, you know what? You're being a capital A right now. Please don't do that. He's like, don't put your hands in my face. Oh my God. This conversation isn't going anywhere, but this is where the episode ends. We get to see a little bit more in Jay and Cinco's relationship in the next episode. And also, Kiki finally comes clean to Brandon. This is all I have for you guys on the recap for the Never Ever Met Season 2, Episode 8. Tell me all of your thoughts below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. See you all in the next one. Bye!